Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our video series. In this video, we will continue our software test automation framework understanding more further that we have learned in class 1. We tried to learn actually. We will take it more further. Also, we will start doing hands-on practice. So, just seeing concept is not enough, right? We have to do hands-on, right? Hands-on practical practice so that we can learn these technologies which is called BDD, Cucumber, Java, Selenium, Maven, all those things. In our first class, we talked about that. What are those things, right? So we'll go further. So let's start the class. Now, what we will learn in this today's class, especially for this class 2, only two things we will learn. The most important purpose of test automation framework, why test automation framework is required. That purpose we will just talk a little bit. The purpose is big, but I'll try to say a high level in short. And we will start our machine. That machine needed to practice every day. So you have to learn, right? So you have to practice in home. Yes. So how do you prepare that machine? It's not like your home prepare your machine, something that it also in your office when you go, how you will work on all these tools and technologies. So you have to also hands-on know how you install things, right? So in your office you go and you cannot ask somebody that, hey, install this for me. That's not good sign. Okay, so let's start. So from this point I will start using a Word document because these are lots of things to talk. So I have prepared a Word document and we will continue Word document and different things. So most important purpose of software test automation framework. Okay, so that is the first thing you will learn. Most important purpose of a test automation framework. Now, think about a scenario in our last class we will try to understand is the manually preparing a coffee for a guy called Jack. Now, if you prepare a coffee for 2 or 3 person, which is very straightforward, you just follow this process. But think about a company like a Starbucks or some coffee company, right? When they try to supply their demand coffee, and manually preparing this coffee can be sometimes impossible, sometimes tedious, sometimes very slower, right? So there are 1,000 people, 100 people is standing, and you cannot serve right on time. So that's why we bring something called coffee making machine in the picture. So in this picture we are bringing a digital coffee maker. A digital coffee maker will basically help us to a digital coffee maker will help us to faster the process. What is the main point here, Sharmin, that we are learning actually?
So
taking the help of a machine to
make
faster
things faster.
a similar repetitive task. Now in your daily work, daily life work, also you use different machine.
Right.
Same thing happen in QA industry, in IT industry. But what are the problem in IT industry that need a machine? There are different sector, different problem. In QA, where you will be a test engineer who will test the software, the problem is test cases that you are going to develop and execute manually. Manually means with your hands on. In a computer, you sit down and you do it. Now, what is exactly those things you will do again and again, right? So let's see a practical example. Let's say you are a test engineer today for a company called Multicut. So you see here this text called Multicut.
Right.
This is an e-commerce website. A company, they have built a website to sell their product in website, right? How do you test that you can successfully log into that website? Now your name, assume your name is James William, and you are assigned to test that you can log in properly. You know login, right?
Right.
To log in, you have to follow certain steps. It's called open the computer browser, browse to a URL, and then do something, right? So let's do it practically. So we will go to this website. So first step saying that, okay, open the Chrome browser. So why not we go and open a Chrome browser. And after opening the Chrome browser, the step says that go ahead and enter this URL, right? So if I go to my Word document again, it says browse to this URL. Click on the login link on the top right corner of the page. Yeah, go ahead, click it, right? And then enter your user. Now these kind of things are in IT industry is written by a test engineer, and this is called test cases.
Yeah.
Test case with the steps, right?
Okay.
And you have to do it.
Right.
And when you do it, you only not need to do it one time. Maybe you have to do it again and again. Same
In
thing.
different ways.
Now think how. Just see how it's actually repetitive.
Hmm.
So you have opened the Chrome, then you enter this website, then you click top right corner of the page, you enter a user ID and password. So you enter a user and password. Click the login button, and as a James William, you should see your profile name as James William, right?
James William, right.
So if you look in the top right corner, the profile name is showing James William. Now you have just did one test, which is this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that this test proves that the website is good for login? No.
No.
Why? Because when you test it, you have to also check that what will happen if you put a wrong password. Now see this, you are again going to follow the same process. Only thing you will change is the putting a wrong password. So you go back again. You have to again open a fresh browser, click the login again, enter a good user ID, right? Enter a good user ID, and then enter a bad password, which is not recognized by the website, which should not. So I put xxxxs, enter, and it says me invalid username. Right, so this is second test. First test, you put it a good user ID and password and you tested, and second test should actually give you error. Now, what happens if it's not give you error? Then you have to report your company. Hey, your website is not giving me any error when I put it. And what about if James William with the wrong password he can log in? What could happen, right? So this is not good. Same thing. Now this is only two tests. That in this way there could be lots of tests you can generate. Out of the box you can think lots of things.
In different way you have to break that.
Right. That is the main thing you will do as IT engineer, as a test engineer in your company when you got a job.
Yeah.
You are going towards that. But testing manually is art. It's a different thing. You have to think, and by thinking you can find out other way of doing the same processes. You can go to the same website again. Click on that login. Now, right this time you don't put anything. Don't put ID. Don't put password. That is also a test. You should not be logged in, right? You click it. You should see a message saying enter username. Left field net corner will be blank. Same way you put a user ID now. So put a user ID, but don't put a password. Click it. What it says, enter a password. And if this error is not coming, that you have to red flag to your company saying that hey, there is a problem. That is test. You understand test?
Yeah.
That you have to follow. And when you follow in a company, when 5 tester or 6 tester works together, day by day, when they talk, so this is just only for a login. What about if you think about sign up? When you go for a sign up, you have to also fill up all this. You have to check with a good email you can fill up and sign up. You can put a bad email. You can put the same email, try to sign up again, right? Lots of things you can think. Yeah. That is called test. That is the art of beauty of test. This way, a clean product we find. Today you use Facebook, right? Maybe 500 times it got tested. Right. And that's why you don't see any problem. Otherwise, you would have find problem and it could be damage lots of things. The company's reputation. That's why people bring test engineer. Now, test engineer, when they do this kind of things can be done again and again. Same thing in coffee, making coffee manually again and again. You can also open the browser again and again in your computer. Now, to solve the problem of manual process, we brought a machine. Right? Same thing we can do for QA manual test cases also. We can automate them. We can do something by a machine that it will do for us. All these things we don't need to do. It will do for us. And that is called framework. Now, that is the purpose of framework. So why framework used in IT industries? To make your work faster, and better, productive, right? Good output, because a human, when they will try to do same thing again and again, sometimes they can make mistake. Think about a banking software calculation. You have to combine lots of mathematical calculation. Then you have to test everything is fine. But a framework or a software or a machine can do it. If you instruct the machine properly, it can do it again and again. The most important thing is it will less time. It will take time,
repetitive work.
Lots of good stuff is there. Now, problem is, now we have to try to understand this framework and try to create it or try to use it. If you go to a company and get a job, probably if the company is matured, there you don't need to build it from the beginning. Maybe you have to use their framework they already built by other
Existing
engineers.
framework,
This is one scenario. Another scenario is sometime in a startup company, a new company, you will build it by yourself. But building by yourself is a good thing. You will learn. Okay. Now, to bring a coffee machine, you will go to a store like Walmart, and you just make your life easy.
I'll buy it.
But problem is, if we talk about this kind of things, BDD, Cucumber, Java, Selenium, they cannot be bring from Walmart, right? Or some store. They need to be bring from a computer to computer, and that is called downloading, right? So you have to download them.
Right.
So if you think about a office or a home you are working, and you need this item here, Java, Selenium, right? You have to download them. Now downloading is also a little bit tricky for not like regular download, not like a music download or a video file download. It's something you have to understand, downloading some other software, right? And these are heavy software. Java is a software that will create another software, right? Okay, now let's make a small list what we need to start our machine to work with and practice. We need a software called, first software we need Java and JDK. Unlike you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint in your computer, you have to also bring this into your computer to work in your office computer or in your home computer for practice. You need something called Eclipse, and we'll learn what is that. Okay, but to understand Eclipse, we have to first understand Java. Okay, Java JDK a little bit. Download practice project. So you have to have a project. Let's say you don't want to do something from the scratch. That means from the zero. You can bring something already developed a little bit, and then you bring it, and then you start working on that. So lots of headache will be gone. Okay, so there are lots of practical project is actually given as a sample into the IT industry. And in fact, if you go to your company, right, they will also have it. They will say, hey, Sharmin, why not you download it from our corporate GitHub, right? Something like that. Understand the start with the framework. So today we'll see after we download everything, we'll try to see that how it works, and we'll run the framework. Okay, we'll try to run and see that, like a coffee machine you brought, and the first coffee you want to create. So here in the framework, I will see that how their login mechanism is actually, we can at least automate, right? Something like that. Okay, now let's go. Instead of saying lots of talk, let's go and start doing a practical practice. So I will go to this fresh machine here. You see this machine?
Yeah.
This is a fresh machine. It doesn't have Java, JDK, and anything. But it has some other software like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But right now our purpose is not to do document or Excel or calculation, right? Our purpose, we need Java. Now, let's go and see if Java is already available. So this is the first thing you have to do always when you start working in your company or a machine where you need to develop something or do this kind of stuff. Check Java is available or not, right? So to do that, because Java is not like a other software, right? It's a little bit heavy software, and it doesn't actually come here that you click and it will open. And Shah Rukh Khan is dancing. It's not like that. Okay. So follow this instruction. Okay. And remember it. Maybe it will not ask by the interviewer, but in the first day when you go to your office, and
They
you
might
cannot
ask you,
say
yeah.
that, hey, I don't know where Java is, right?
Right.
So check Java is available or not. Select the search for your Windows search icon. So you know Windows, you can search software, right?
Of course, yeah.
And click it, and then you look for a software called utility software called command prompt, CMD. Okay, open this CMD and then type Java here, because Java is the only way you can recognize first time Java is here or not by following these steps. Java enter. What it says, Java is not recognized an internal, right? That means Java is not there. What do you think? Java is not there? No. You have to check another thing
Another
also.
thing.
Let's go to your Windows folder. So this is your Windows, right?
Right.
Go to C drive, and then there is a folder called, in C drive there is a folder called program files. Go there and see if you have Java here also. Okay. So if you don't see it here, that means actually Java is not in this machine. If you don't see it.
Yeah.
So it's time to install Java. Now I will go and download and install the Java. You just see it. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. You go to website, look for Google, right? Inside the Google you type something called JDK. Why not Java? Why JDK? I'll tell you why. Okay. So JDK, and then go for download, JDK download. Okay. Now I recommend you, because the framework you are going to develop and we are working, it is good to download JDK 8, JDK 1.8, not the latest one. Latest one is 17 or 18 maybe, I don't know. Don't download the latest one.
So you
Okay.
basically want to take the stable.
Yeah, so just take the stable build that is all around IT. We people are using a lot, right? So JDK download 1.8, you can just search for 1.8. So if you search, it will give you a result. Here into the Oracle homepage, you will find out the latest one. Go for the older one, archive. You know archive, right? So JDK one it is a little bit older. So they have archived it and put it in somewhere else, not into their homepage. You will not find it. So go to this place. This there are two versions of JDK 8. See this 202 and 211. Take the latest one.
211.
Go a little bit down and find out which version is compatible for your machine. So your machine is Windows.
Windows.
And nowadays all Windows machine is basically something called. So you if I go and look Windows here, right? I'll see two version. One is called Windows X64 and one is called 886. Very important thing.
Yeah.
So x86 is older Windows, old time Windows XP, Windows 98, old days. That is x64. It's actually 32-bit, and that's a tape technology. We don't need to understand that. Remember, new computer, it's all comes with x64.
Yeah.
You will not require I don't think in your life to use a x86 machine. Okay, it's very old. 64 is the latest machine. So take a 64 version of the exe file to download. Check this check mark and say download. Now, Oracle might ask you for ID and password or register you as a Oracle user because they are not completely giving you free. At least you have to sign up to their site.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can sign up and then it will download. If not, then go back and Google search again and download again. Okay, so I'm putting my ID that I have created long time ago. So I'm just using that. And then what will happen, it will download that software for us and the download goes to our download directory of this computer, right? Okay. So every browser they try to download whatever you download, it takes to this directory called download in your Windows. Okay, so you can go there and this is the download folder and you see this JDK8U321. This is the downloaded executable file just downloaded.
Okay.
But it is still not ready for work.
We use.
Okay. It will be ready for use when you install it.
Install it.
Okay. Now let's click it and install it. Okay. So if I click it, you will see a small pop-up will come. It will say, hey, I am going to install Java runtime environment into your computer. Say yes. Wait some time and then just go for next, right? You know, standard installation.
Right.
So go for next and then you say next. Okay.
Easy.
Okay, so that's the first thing you do. Okay. Hands-on practice, install JDK. Okay, and JDK comes with Java, and I will explain you a little bit later what does this two word means. One is Java and one is JDK, right? JDK. So there is a difference between Java and JDK understanding, though they combine together, but there are two things. Okay, so when you install it, it will go to set up your machine, and when it go and install set up your machine, something it does by itself, but some part you have to also do, and there is a reason for that. I'll tell you. Let the installation finish. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
You can install it now, right?
Of course.
So the purpose of showing you this installation is that never ask somebody to install it for you in your office or wherever you go and work. Okay, and also that is not getting asked by the interviewer that, hey, do you know how to install Java? But don't be so if they ask that which version of Java you work, answer that 1.8 so far, and I know the latest version but I haven't used it, right? Then close. You don't need to see what is next steps, because the next steps will take you to a website and show you the Java documentation. See, this is showing you the Java documentation. Okay. Now installation is done, you just close it. Now problem is, after installation, what next now? What is? So you saw, right? First you checked that Java is there or not. Where did you check? So you went to C drive.
C drive,
Remember?
program files.
C drive, program files. Now you should see a folder called Java. See this?
Yeah.
And it contains lots of files. Actually, two files. One is JRE and one is JDK.
JDK.
Now you have to understand what is this two mean. Why it's bring two folder. One is JRE and one is
JDK.
JRE means, so let me note it down also, because this Word document you will maybe need, right? So when you have installed, so you can say download download JDK 1.8 from Google, right? Then install JDK, right? Then we see two folder, right? And what are them? One is
JDK
called
and JRE.
JDK and one is called
JRE.
JRE. Now these are very technical term, and remember, don't just be silly on interview or somewhere that you don't understand the difference between these two. One is called Java
Development kit.
Development Kit. What is a kit means?
Library.
Corona kit, Corona testing kit. What does it mean?
Tools.
That means there is something already given just to make your life easy.
Yeah.
Do something very quickly, or right, something like that. JRE is the main Java here. It's called Java Runtime Environment. Okay. And I will explain you that also. Okay. So you have JDK folder and you have JRE folder. Now I can see in my computer C drive this two folder is there. So obviously I should see it in work, right? Now how do we see Java is working? You cannot just click something and it will open like a Word or Excel, right? It is a development tool. So you have to go to command prompt again and type what? Java. And say enter. What do you see? Java is not recognized. There is a reason for that. You have to understand that. So let's go and try to understand.
Configure somewhere, right?
Yeah, but before that, understand why. Right? Okay, so let's go and try to understand that why. It's always why, how. You have to first understand why, then understand how. Okay. Now, see, this is your computer. Just this computer that you install Java, right? Unlike other software, so you can think like this is a software called Word, right? I can just put something called W here. Okay.
Okay.
So this you know that you just click open and you just type something.
Okay.
Then you can have another software called Excel, right? And you open and you do some calculation, and there are thousand software can be in your machine or in your phone. But JDK or Java that you just install, it's something different. It cannot that you just go and open. It's something a little bit different. How? What it does, it creates a layer inside your computer, a thin and hidden behind the scene layer. You don't necessarily need to see it. And in that layer in your machine, two things installed. One is called JVM, which is the Java runtime environment, right? So let's put this as a blue.
JVM
and JRE, same thing.
Yeah. Oh,
you can
JVM
say
and
JVM, pretty much same thing. Yeah, not 100%, but yeah, exactly. You can think about same also. There is no big difference of this JVM. So this is called JVM and JRE, right? Okay, and the other software you see what that have been
JDK.
installed, JDK. So JDK you can just put it here, JDK. Okay, that is it. Now this is not, you cannot see it in your desktop, you cannot somewhere see it, but it is still there. Okay, if you search for it you will find it. So if you say Java, you see this configure Java is there, but don't worry about that thing. Understand this. What is go after this machine? So this is your computer screen, this is the monitor, right? So this is your computer monitor basically. Okay, what is behind the scene in this monitor? Do you know? Machine, right? The main hardware.
Main hardware.
Yeah, and we don't need to understand what the main hardware does. Okay,
Right.
But still, think about this web here, this WAP, right? This is the hardware part of behind the scene. It goes to this computer, right?
Yeah.
Now Java is a very famous software because famous development software only because of this JVM. You
Only
know?
because of this
Yes,
JVM.
that is the thing that makes him this
Different.
development software different than other development software and famous. Why the world is still carving for Java.
Yeah.
There is a reason for that. Because this guy here, this JVM and JRE, it's basically straight connect to this WAB here.
Mm-hmm.
This WAB is, you can think like only 0 and 1. That's it. There is nothing else. It's all 0 and 1. Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm
0,
following.
1, 0, 1. On and off, on and off. So this is your main machine. Like what is happen inside the where? It's a two thing, right? Positive
Zero,
and
one.
negative
Positive and negative.
energy. That's it. So we can think about this guy here. This JVM is connected to this 0 and 1. Now the good thing of JVM is if you look into this 0 1, you will not understand anything, but this guy understand. If you look into 0 1, he understand what is this 0 1 mean. You and me doesn't understand. You and me will not understand.
No.
But only JVM has the capability to understand what's going on behind the scene. You got it, right? It's an interesting thing. That's why I'm explaining.
Of course,
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
So
So only
JVM.
JVM can understand what's going on
Yes.
there.
Now problem is you don't understand, right?
No.
That's why he comes in middle. So this is you. So this is you, Sharmin, right? This is you. You cannot understand 0 1, but JVM can, right? All you have to do is now you have to tell JVM to do something for you, and you can tell it him with a English language, English type language, with following some grammar, and that grammar help will come from JDK. Are you following?
JDK. Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to write something saying hello.
The language
See,
to command that.
right.
I'll
So
take it
you
from
will
JDK.
write something called hello, right? But you have to write following JDK. The kit is given, the
Yeah.
grammar is given. You have to follow by this guy, and then it will go to JVM. This guy will then take it to JVM.
Whatever the
Now you
JDK.
say it what? Hello.
Yeah.
JVM will understand hello, and he will make the machine to say hello to you.
Right.
Got it? You got? You see this very interesting thing.
Very
Why?
interesting.
Why? Who start learning computer? Right? Why these people actually love it? Because of this kind of things they understand, and you have to understand that before you go to further. So you say hello to JVM, and that is the reason Java is famous. You don't need to worry about anything. You just about worry that JVM is sitting inside your computer. So if JVM is sitting inside, and then you use JDK, the kit, to say hello to JVM, JVM will understand your hello if you follow this guy here.
That grammar.
Right. But the grammar should be followed through this guy.
Yeah,
this JDK
that's
guy.
what I'm saying.
You followed it, JVM will understand. If you don't follow it, he will not understand. He will say error. If you follow it, he will say, okay, I
The
understand.
grammar I will take
And
it from
what he understand right now, the hello. My Shanmin wants to say me hello. To whom? Computer. So he will take your command to this 0 1. Now 0 1 will manipulate, and it will say you hello back. Make sense? So that's the thing is here. That's why this software is not something that you can just go and open. You have to command him saying hello by using JDK. Right?
Got it.
Now your computer have it right now, but your computer doesn't have a connection. To make this connection, here you will not find it if you don't make that connection. That is called the configuration. So you have to tell your computer from this window black screen. You can do it through this command prompt utility. You can do it from here also if you want. That is called something called configure Java. But we will not do it. We will do it from here.
Command prompt
We will
here.
try to do it from here. But before that, I need to tell my computer that hey, JVM is there. Just go and always keep connected with JVM.
Okay.
How do we do that? That's the reason we go to something called environment variable.
Variable.
So search for environment. It will give you edit environment variable. Go inside, and then you say environment variables. So in the tab, just go for advanced and say edit environment variables. There are two type of environment variable. One is for your user, and one is for this entire computer. If this computer get used by 5 people, they all should find out those connection like JVM and whatever it is. Then you put it here. And if you want only for your reason, for your purpose, then you put it here. This is called user variable. This is called system variable. If you put it here, it will be get used by other people also. This computer can log in by some other people, right? They also want to use JVM now. So if you put it here, they will also find it.
Okay.
Okay, but if you put it here, then only you will find it. The most important thing is here, first you have to create a variable where Java is, where we install Java C program files.
C program file.
And then there are two, one is called JDK and one is called JRE. Let's keep JRE's place. We will go to JDK because we need the help of JDK also, because we will develop. See, think about this. If you don't need to develop, then you don't need JDK, right? Then JRE is fine for you.
Yeah, for
But
the
you
runtime.
need development, so you need JDK also. So what do you have to do? First find out where the JDK is. So we have JDK here, JDK 1.832. But if I don't need to develop, then I don't need JDK. Then I can easily point here. But because we develop, then we will go inside JDK. Okay.
Yeah, but we
So
have,
next
we
time
need
if you
both.
go to your office, okay, and you see these two folder, always, if you are a developer, if you do some development of Java, then you have to go inside this folder. Go here. This is the home folder of what?
For JDK.
JDK.
Yeah, JDK.
So copy this path, right? Go back to your environment variable. In the system place, right? Create a new variable. You can do it here also if you want, but we will do it in system place. Okay, in this the bottom one. Click new, and then name it as Java underscore home. This is the variable name, and the value is the path where you just find out that where is the JDK is actually. So where is my Java home? C program file Java JDK here, right? Click OK. So you have a variable called Java home, and it contains the value of the path of Java where it installed, JDK where it is installed, right? And then most important thing you have to do to make connection with your computer now is click this path, double click it. You see all other paths, these are for other software, other heavy software. Now you just need to create your JDK path where your JDK is, right? So you say new, and then now don't worry about this percentage thing right now, other people has put. So the variable you have to identify by percentage sign. You see this percentage sign?
Yeah.
So you have to say percentage, and the variable name what we have given right now, Java underscore what? Home, right?
Home.
Then again percentage. Look the top one. System percentage, system percent, system
So
root
everywhere
percentage.
there is a percentage.
These are the variables. And this Java underscore home means C program files JDK.
JDK.
Make sense? What is the variable value? C program files JDK 1.8, right?
1.8.
And you shorted it by a variable called Java home. That shortcut version of your path, and then slash you have to give a extra extra line which is called bin. Bin means binary, and bin I'll show you bin. Bin is the bin. What is bin? It contains the main machine, like Java main, like JVM, where the JVM is, where the JDK library is, where string is, all those things, all blah blah blah. Let's engine is to run the Java with your computer. All those are under this folder called bin. So you say program files, C program files Java, and then slash.
Bin.
You understand this variable part? Don't be confused. It's very easy. Java underscore home, you create it right now. And it contains a value C program file is JDK 1.8.
1.8.
And then slash bin. Click OK. So you have now path and the variable. It just make the life a little bit easier. You have a variable, it contains the path, home path, and then you have the path slash bin here. Now let's go and see what is the bin actually. You see this folder here, bin? You can easily give like that. All the things you take together and put it into the path, that will also work.
Yeah.
You make sense? See, I'll show you also.
That's easier.
First, let's see what happens. You can copy this, enter this. Copy this, right? Go back to path, open it, and instead of this Java home blah blah blah, this Kulaberry, this confusion, you can straight put this thing straight here like that. Control V. That is also fine. Nobody bother. But the standard practice is create a variable and then variable slash bin. Same thing.
Okay.
Confused?
Yeah, no. Same thing is there. Same. The work will be
Either
same.
give the full hard-coded path here. That not looks good. Okay. Why not looks? When you understand variable, right? That time you will understand. So variable is good. If you need to change, just change the variable.
Change the variable.
Then everything will be as it is. Something
Change.
like that, right? That's why we use this.
If it's a bigger thing, you need to change the whole thing. If you create a variable, you just need to change the variable. So
Right,
everything
that's
will be
it. In
changed.
future, if you need to change about Java JDK, you just change the variable. Let's say tomorrow you change the home path, like it's not in C drive anymore, it goes to some other
Some
place.
other place.
Then what you will do? Change the home path. So path will not be conflict. Otherwise, you have to come back inside path and then change. Something like that. People does these things to make things better. There is no rocket science inside it. Okay. Click OK now, and then click OK. Now, after you set it up, that means now you should see Java. And now if you go to command prompt again and you say Java, you will not see again anymore because it is still holding the old connection of your computer. So close this command prompt first. The old one, if it's open, close it and open a new one. CMD. Now you type Java and see what happens.
Now it's coming. Yeah.
Right? Now actually your computer understands Java and he says that, hey, fine, you have typed Java. I have some option to use. Why not you use those? But you have to understand which option is for what, right? Okay, now at the same time you have to also make sure that you have another software is also installed with Java, which is called Java compiler.
Oh.
Okay, now the compiler is basically sit down here all the way between JVM and JDK and you. It's a good software. It's extra software. Some development software doesn't have it. Some software have it. It's a software to actually. So let's say you have write down not only hello, you also write down 1,000 line of hello code, and you want to send it to JVM straight direct. What would happen if there is any single mistake? Unnecessarily you put a burden to him, right? That's why there is a second software is there which is called compiler. You give it to compiler first and compiler will tell you, hey, your syntax or the code you write is fine,
It's fine.
and then he will create a file, extra file, it produces. So let's say this is, you name it as a hello.java file, right? And you have, so this is hello.java file, okay? And this has, let's say, 10k 1000 code, 10k, right? 10,000 line of code. You don't straight put it into JVM, you put it to compiler. Compiler will read you 10k and it will see if there is any mistake. If not, then he will say, he will create another file called hello.class here. Hello.class. Same file, one is plain English and one will be machine understandable.
It's understandable.
And that will go to 01 and do his work. Make sense? Why compiler is
So,
in between? So what have you learned so far? So we have learned, let's go back to our note. So you have understand JDK, right? You have understand JRE. Then you have understand something called Java, Java C, which is means, C means here, C is, compiler.
Okay, so basically Java compiler we have to.
This will sit down between JVM and your code. So you write code in Java, .java file, and then you send it to compiler. Compiler will parse it. Compiler will check your every line, every word. If there is a mistake, it will return you back. It's wrong. Fix it. If not, then Java compiler will create, say, .class file. .class file, and this .class file is the main executable that will go to machine. Okay. So you understand, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back, and now you see you have Java. So you can also check the version here, Java hyphen version, and you can also check Java C hyphen version, right? So we have this. This is the Java C version. You see?
Yeah.
So Java now you can install Java whenever it's required. Follow this. So all the time, if you need Java installed, so you have to understand this concept and you have to install Java. Okay. So what is the second thing we need? Then we need Eclipse. Okay. Now Eclipse. Actually, there is something more to do here, but it's fine. We don't need to worry about that now. Now we need the second software, which is called Eclipse. So let's go and install Eclipse, and I will tell you why Eclipse is required. So Eclipse, just say Eclipse download, right? And then you again go to Google, go to Eclipse download, find out the latest version. So for Eclipse, you can install latest version, okay? JDK, I'm using 88. You can use the JDK latest if you want. Download, okay? And then
you are downloading 86.
No. It started here. Now it started. This is the old one.
Okay.
This is the new one. Double click it. So you go to the download folder again and then start installing Eclipse. Okay. So in Windows, it's very straightforward. You just click it, it will start installing. And in next class, we will see Mac. In separate class, we will
Yeah,
see
it's
Mac
better because
installation.
together it will be, you know,
Lots of time.
yeah, not only time, confusing.
In Mac is also same. You have to just download JDK, install, and Eclipse is download and install. But in Mac, there are some setup like environment
I
variable
am
that is
meaning that, yeah.
different. That different. So install Eclipse IDE for Java developer. Install. You have JDK install, so Eclipse will automatically recognize. So Eclipse why? I will tell you now. Let's hit install fast. Okay. Any questions so far?
No. I have few questions with Java compiler, but not now.
Don't worry about compiler right now because we don't see actually what compiler does when you
Okay.
use IDE.
Yeah, and the
So
path
that's why I'm using this.
and the path
See,
setting.
if you don't have Eclipse, then you might need to use JavaC. Eclipse behind the scene will automatically use JavaC.
Okay, and the path setting, but also I'll see the video and I'll try by my own, and then I'll come back with my question.
The environment variable setting. You understand why we did it,
I
right?
understood, but I'll try to do that by my own.
Okay. Any more? Any other question?
No, other things are good.
So you good on installing, downloading JDK, install JDK, then you understand these two folder, right? Then you understand
Those are
compiler.
fine.
Now
Yeah.
this compiler you will not see anymore, but actually it will be always behind the scene. It will
Behind the
work, and
scene,
I'll
it will
tell you.
stay.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you. I'll show you what happened. What does? Because this is the main thing in Java. JDK work, but it's all encapsulated. It's all behind the scene works.
Okay.
Okay. In 10 days, 10 or 20 years back, people when doesn't have Eclipse, that time people actually use this. And
Java
nowadays
compiler.
it doesn't require. But it's good to understand the behind technology.
I mean, what's going on, right?
Okay, now Eclipse is installed, right? Now Eclipse is a software that you can open like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Okay, so let's go launch it. You see a software is opening like Word, right? Like other software, like music software, Winamp, or Windows Media Player, right? It's a software.
Winamp is a very old software.
Right. So it says that, hey, I'm opening. Where you want to save your all work. Time to time you will do lots of work with
So
me.
it's called like
Where
when
is
I'm
this is
saving my
called
workspace.
right? Your place, your room where you do all your work. Put a single room for single specific work, right? Let's say you are working in a project A, so the workspace name should project A workspace.
Okay.
Now click launch, and after that a software will open showing you a lots of good stuff, and this is the software you have to use when you work on framework. There are other IDE also, other Eclipse type software also, but Eclipse is fine to start with. Okay, then you don't need to welcome and see the tutorial and everything. This is fine. Just close it and you will see this canvas. At the left side, the middle part, the right side is outline, and the bottom is you will see some declaration, Java doc, and problems, right? Okay, now let's go and quickly create a small Java file where we will say hello. Okay, so you can just say file, new, and then just say class. That's it. Remember, okay?
Okay.
It's very straightforward. In Java, whenever you start a work, you have to start with the class. And we will learn it next class. Very deep.
Okay.
File, new, and then class. File, new, class. Now, these things, if I don't have Eclipse, I have to do it by myself. I have to type something and then say, save the file as a .java. But in Eclipse, it will do automatically by behind the scene for me. I select class and it automatically say, okay, what is the name of the class you want to do? Actually, we should create a project first. Okay.
Okay.
Let's create a project first. File, new, and then say project. Okay. Name the project as what kind of project you want to run. I want to open a Java project, right?
Yeah.
And then I want a new Java project. Click next, and you have to give a name of the project. So hello world, hello Java. So I'm just creating a small project called hello Java. Click finish. right? File new project, Java project. There are other projects you can create, but we have created.
No, we
Okay,
are.
now don't use this option right now. Okay, just don't use. So say don't create. This is called something module info or something like that. You don't need this. Don't create. Okay. Then a project has created, right? Inside the project, select the project and say file new class now. So in Java, now this is you are seeing the practical implementation. So you say sample code. Just make it a sample code. Okay. Select this public static void main. Click finish. Okay. You will see some writing right here.
Right.
That's the JDK library. Remember that
Yeah, the
I
kit.
said that hello you cannot write by hello. You have to write through this guy. This guy is here in Eclipse with you. See this JRE system library.
Automatically is there.
Right, this is the library. It contains 1,000,000,000 lines of code for you. It's already given you lots of things. That's the kit, and kit says follow me.
Right.
To follow kit, you have to follow all these things like public, class. They're all coming from that kit. Okay,
Yeah.
public, static. These are grammar, and you can see that they are coming from there. If you go to this class, right, and then you say control. See this control. Sorry, it will not work here. You can actually go inside that. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, you see this string here.
Yeah.
See this, you can click it and it will take you there. There is in Eclipse there is an option called link with editor. If you click it, it will show where this class is. See this is coming from kit. Okay, but don't make life complicated. Only thing you have to now do is write a hello to computer. So you say system out dot println hello. Now why this all these things like system out dot println, right? Now that's a question to JDK. You cannot do anything. It's all about system dot out dot print print ln. Now to write a hello to your computer or command your computer, you have to follow this code, all this thing. That's it.
Grammar.
Yeah, all this grammar. Okay, and after you do that, then you can say hey, now you can say hey, run it at the top, or you can just say right click, run as Java application, and immediately you see a hello. Now you have to understand the compiler. This is very good thing, right? So what you see is actually the top level. From the 1,000 foot up, let's go behind. What happened is, let's go to this folder where the project is created. See this hello Java, right click, property, and then click this. You go to that folder. This is the project folder. We just created this workspace, right? This is the hello Java. Right?
Okay.
Go inside. You see this bin folder. Go inside. What is this file? Sample code dot class. That is compile created. But what you created? Go back. You created this. You created sample code dot Java. Look, your code. If you open it into some other file that we used to do long time back, right? So open with, let's say I open with Notepad. The same code. This is my English. This is my English following Java grammar, right? But compiler, what he does is, if I go again to the bin, same name, right? Right click, open with. Let's open it also with Notepad. More app. Notepad. Look here, what happened. See this? This is understandable for the machine. You don't need to understand it. But this is exactly equivalent what you have right here. What you write here is basically compiled by Java C. Now you understand why Java C is required? Yeah. So Java C reads this and then he creates this for you. If he find any issue here, he will not create it. He will say, hey, there is a wrong. And this guy is now getting used by main Java virtual machine. Right? When I say in Eclipse, when I say run, it's basically saying Java, take this class file, not my Java file. Yeah. So every time we develop something, that is for our purpose. But final destination is this class. Make sense? So every time you say run, it actually behind the scene by the compiler, it will look for the code, look for your code, then it will compile and it will place a class file into the bin folder. And the bin folder is basically the main thing. It always run by Java. That this entire thing can be done without Eclipse also. Okay, you don't need Eclipse to do this, but Eclipse helps you. Let's say you made a mistake here. You put a semicolon. You see this Eclipse is straight showing you this is the error. And compiler will not give you any output.
Right.
Since you cannot even run it, it will say there is error. See this? It will show you, see, error exists. This is Eclipse error. Compiler says no, I cannot parse it. Eclipse saying that hey, there is a problem. Finish it. See this? It says exception is thread main blah blah blah. So this is compilation problem. You got the entire point. This is very important thing. If you don't understand these things, there is no point running behind this testing world or IT world. If you understand this thing, this is very basic. Interviewer will not ask you, but that's for your feeling. That hey, I understand what is the behind is happening. Watch this video 3-4 times.
What is
try to understand what's going on.
What is
and then next things for a quick purpose, for the class 2 purpose, what we will do, time to time we will try to learn this grammar. That is our main purpose to actually coming here. Okay, learn this grammar. As much grammar we know, as much, like right now you know about system out.println and all those things you have to follow. You cannot miss any semicolon, dari, anything. You can miss this one. You can take out this double CC. This is also
all the hardcode things, and I mean full stop, semicolon. We have to. I mean
always. Okay, now we don't need to worry about this simple class here. So what I will do, I will close this. Save. So let's close this. I'll take this thing out because we have to learn something different. Okay, now your computer is ready. So we have Java, we have Eclipse. Download a practice project. Now this is another important thing you have to understand. Now I don't want you to go and do everything from scratch. Scratch means like start building the framework. Why not we get and grab a framework already have? Okay, so for that reason, what I will do, I will go to a website here, and I prepared it for you. You can take and practice it. Where is it? Here. HTTP. So there is a project I created. All you have to do is go and download that project, and then see what it does first, and then you start understanding from top to bottom. Okay. So let's go to the website here. And if I put here, you see, we will go to a website called GitHub, and you see this. These are all Java code actually. Not only Java, there are other things. So based on our framework understanding, we have to go through all these things. So this simple project contains everything. It contains Java, as you already understand, right? You installed. It contains Java grammar code. I'll show you. It contains Cucumber, Selenium, Maven, everything it contains. Okay. So let's download it. Either you can download it or you can clone it. Good thing to download first. Okay. Download. Again, like Java JDK, you know, downloading a project. Then you go inside that folder, again the download folder, unzip this project. Okay. So it says extract all, extract. Now in download folder, I have unzipped it, right? So let's go to download folder, YouTube demo master, right? So in download folder, YouTube demo master, not this one. In download folder, where is it? Yeah, this one, right? Inside YouTube, that again YouTube demo master. Why not we do one thing? Because we just learned that we have installed Eclipse. Let's cut it from here or copy it from here, and why not we go to our Eclipse workspace where we created the workspace. I created it here. C drive user, my username, and you see this, there is a folder called Eclipse workspace. I just bought that downloaded file here, entire directory here, YouTube master. Now what I will do, again go to Eclipse, practice. This is your practice, you have to do it. Go to Eclipse. Now in this time, don't create a project. Go to file, then import. See this, import. And the project that we created, it's a framework, and this framework is created by using Maven. So select Maven project, import it, import the Maven project, and I have downloaded an existing Maven project, right? So select existing Maven project, click next, click browse, go where I have put it, AR Himmel, Eclipse Workspace, and this is the place I downloaded right now, right?
You just paste it
Extract,
there.
copy it and paste it. Go inside, select the folder, and don't worry about this POM and everything. Select the folder and click finish. And you will see the project will start following into your machine. So the project is coming. See this? It's actually preparing all the things. It's talking to Java, it's talking to Cucumber, Selenium, whatever is needed, everything is coming to your machine. But internet should be available, okay?
Right.
It's done. See, finish. Now we will start the entry point. You just see that login, right? That a guy, James William, he logged in and he tested. Then he logged in with wrong password. Let's go open this and let's go to the entry point of the every framework or every machine has a trigger point, right, where you can just press a button and it will work. So for this project that you are going to build in future, I build it right now. The entry point is in source test Java folder. So source is a folder, test is a folder, Java is a folder. There is a folder called A runner. A, actually I put it A because it should show up at the top as a capital A. Sorry, A is the first letter, right?
Yeah,
That's
so that it can come
then
first.
open this Java file. You see it 2 minutes before you just wrote one Java file, hello world. That is also a Java file, test Java. It will get compiled and then the class file will generate and then the class file will do everything. But before that you have to read it. See this? It's simple. How many line of code? 21 line of code. And it shows something and we'll learn it. What does it mean? So what is this feature mean? What is this glue plugin? Everything we'll learn in our class 3. Slowly, one after another, okay? But right now this is your switch where you will run and you will see that all those things that I just did manually, it will done through this guy. Okay? So, but you have to have browser, so Chrome browser installed. Just right click and say run as what? JUnit test. We'll learn it why it's like that, but it's fine. Right now just right click, run as JUnit test and see the magic. Just wait and you'll see the James William test, login test will be automatically performed in this machine without my touch. Look, wait, see this? Chrome browser opened automatically. I'm not touching it. It's trying to test the login automatically. It put it a good user ID and password. Click the login button, tested James William. Okay, then second test started. Okay, it's actually trying to put an invalid ID password.
Yeah. I mean that negative, positive, everything there.
Right, see this? It's automatically happening. Now see this, the burden how we can resolve through this entire project.
You made the framework. Now it's making easier.
Same thing will happen in your office also. When you got a job, by cracking an interview, and they will give you something like that. All you have to do is now understand what this guy is, what this framework is, and then maintain it and become expert slowly, right? So people works in a store, like a medicine store, and one day after 2-3 years working, they know which medicine is in which place. But if you look, you will be lost. That okay, oh my god.
By time it will be in your brain.
And see this, it actually finished and it says, hey, successful login was good. Login with invalid ID was good. There is a failure also.
I mean, how many
successful login and log out to a new user has been failed. Why? There was some issue. And you have the report also here. So if we go to that Eclipse workspace and this master, and then you see this folder called target here. If you go inside, you will find out a Cucumber report. Click it and you will see the report that okay, there is a test happened.
So in every laptop it will be the same?
Yes.
Okay.
All you just have to do, prepare your environment. And the environment is JDK installation. Okay. That's it.
And while I'm taking Eclipse. My project, for report I have to go there to check.
Right. So this report we can email also by Java code also. Now you understand, right?
Right.
So all these things we will start. So from next class, what we will do, we will build this entire. So right now you see a trigger point, but this is not. This is right. So when you drive a car, you just press the accelerator and car moves you. But that is not actually the main thing, right?
Of course.
There is the engine behind the scene. We will go deep down inside the engine. Right now we just brought the car home, and from tomorrow we have to open the car, see the engine, and understand each and every individual engine.
It's a high level things. And
so thanks for class 2. Yeah. So let's wait for class 3. Okay? Thank you. I think এটা ঠিক আছে
কিন্তু তুমি গুগল ড্রাইভে সুন্দর করে একটা নাম দিও যাতে আমি পাই।
তিন
আর
দিন
আমি দেখে দেখে ইয়ে করতে পারি।
এটার নিয়ে চার্জ দিয়ে দাও। আমার ডাক দাও খাইব নাকি জিগাও? ও না 10টা 22 বাজে, আমি জিগাই।